Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you are one of my bookish friends, you probably are not going to care about this video at all. This may be the most self-indulgent video I've ever made. I don't care. I want to make it. So, I love the Fast and the Furious franchise. Unashamedly, unironically, I thoroughly enjoy it. And I wanted to rewatch them, and I've been wanting to rewatch all of them for a hot minute. And last year, I watched Tokyo Drift for the first time. I'll get into that. And then I also watched Hobbs and Shaw just about a month or two ago. And this past weekend, I said, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm rewatching all of them. And I did. And it was a glorious way to spend a weekend. And it made me want to make this video. I have so much nostalgia, as anyone around my age does, or if you like these movies. For these movies, the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, came out in 2001 when I was a freshman in high school. And it was just such a huge part of the pop culture of the time. Everybody was obsessed with it. And then the second movie, Too Fast, Too Furious, came out in 2003 when I was a junior in high school. And, you know, we were all learning to drive. We were all just starting to drive. And everybody thought they were a fucking streetcar racer, which we were not. And I just have so many memories. I mean, my two best girlfriends and I went and saw Too Fast, Too Furious together. And my one friend, afterwards, we went to Walmart and she was asking the guy for neon lights to go under her Bonneville. And then we're driving around this town where we had gone to see the movie, and she was blasting Too Fast, Too Furious, and screaming it out the window, just being obnoxious. But yeah, it was just such a huge part of, like I said, the pop culture of the time. And yeah, there's so much fun to me, so much fun and just badassery, action movie shit that I love. I also, though, I really enjoy a good found family trope in books and in movies and TV shows. And this series absolutely has that. That's the whole fucking code of ethics that they live by, is family. And they don't mean blood related necessarily. They mean like your found family. These are the people you consider your family. Some of them might be related to you. Some of them might not, but now we're brothers, now we're sisters, etc. Just lots of heart to it, and I thoroughly enjoy that as well. I don't just love the action. I do love the action, though, but I also really love this bonded group of people. And with that, you get to the obviously really tragic death of Paul Walker, who was there from the beginning. You know, him and Vin Diesel were the two main actors for the first film. He was one of the two main actors for the second film. And then Tokyo Drift, we'll get into that. And then he was in 4, 5, 6, and most of 7. And I mean, Brian O'Connor as a character he was pivotal to the Fast and the Furious franchise, you know? So it was really, really tragic when he died, and how he died. I mean, he died driving a car and crashing. And yeah, it was really tragic. And like I said, my age range, we were all just obsessed with these movies and obsessed with Paul Walker as an actor. I mean, all of the girls and, you know, the boys that like boys, everyone was just like, he was so handsome. He was such a handsome person, like so good looking. And he just seemed like such a nice guy and like a good guy. All of his co-stars, obviously his friends and family, they just talk about how much of a joy he was to be around and how genuine of a person he was. And he did a lot of charity work. He started an organization called Reach Out Worldwide to go help with like natural disasters and emergencies like that. And like he would go be on the ground helping people and setting up these hospitals or these shelters or whatever they needed to do. And then he also was super into marine biology and marine life conservation, and he did a lot of work with that as well. Everyone in his life said that like that was his true passion in life. It was cars and marine biology. And again, he did a lot of work on the ground, really helping with that. So he just seemed like a great person. And I've seen people talk about this. I've read a few articles about it. He did have a bit of a problematic situation or history of dating young women / teens. And there was a couple women that he dated that he knew them when they were 16. It wasn't said that he ever did anything sexual with them when they were underage. But at the very least, potentially some kind of a grooming situation, which is not ideal. I don't love that, but I don't know. For me, situations like that are not so black and white. If someone is accused of raping people, like that's like, okay, now any memory I have of your works as an actor are tainted. With this, it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't taint my memory of enjoying his movies, and it doesn't make me feel like he was a bad guy. Obviously, if you're so inclined, you're allowed to feel differently. You're allowed to think it completely taints his memory and that he's a bad person. That's fine, whatever. I just wanted to address it because I figured I'd probably get somebody, because every video I watched, because I got into a bit of a black hole of watching interviews with him or tributes to him and just Fast and the Furious stuff, and every video, there's people in the comments screaming in all caps that he was a pedophile, which I don't believe is necessarily accurate. It could be, I don't know. I don't know the man. I didn't know the man. I don't know all of the situation, obviously, but I just think it's a situation where there's gray area. And I could go into a whole conversation about why men, especially men in Hollywood, are so into dating these young girls. Is it the obsession with youth in Hollywood? Is it some kind of psychological thing? Is it just because they're allowed to, because people it's just so normal in Hollywood? I don't know. There's a whole other conversation we could have about the psychological shit going into why this happens so often, especially in Hollywood. But I'm not here to get into that. But yeah, for me personally, it is sketchy and not ideal and like, ugh, that's not great, dude. But it doesn't taint his memory, and it doesn't negate all of the good that he did in the world and the love that the people around him felt and experienced with him. Just men in Hollywood, men in general, people in general, need therapy. But at any rate, regardless of how you feel about him, since his death, the movies are a little bit bittersweet, obviously. It is an ensemble cast, so the movies can and have continued without him, of course. But yeah, Dom and Brian were just that iconic bromance. And in real life, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker were very good friends. They considered each other brothers. Vin Diesel is the godfather of Paul Walker's daughter. Vin Diesel named his third child Pauline or Paulina after Paul Walker, he said. I have read some articles saying that in the 10th or 11th movie, maybe both, they have been talking about bringing back the character of Brian O'Connor and doing the same thing they did with his remaining scenes in Furious 7, which is they used his two brothers who look so much like him, especially the younger one. They used his two brothers as the body double, and they had like stuff on their faces to mark where they were going to do CGI. So there's like 20% of the scenes in that movie, some in the middle, some at the end, where you're seeing Brian O'Connor, but it's not actually Paul Walker. It's his brothers being in his place. And then they did obviously really expensive CGI and voice stuff to make his character be in those scenes. And that was all with the permission of his family. I mean, obviously his brothers participated. And his one brother definitely said that he would be very open to doing that in future films because, again, Brian O'Connor was such a pivotal character to the series. And it made sense to the way they wrote him out with going to do his thing with Mia and their kids. But it's like, to continue it, at some point he's going to have to come back. You know, in the final one, definitely, I would think. So it's one of those things where it might be kind of weird, and it will be weird to be like, I know that's not Paul Walker, actually. But I just personally think it'd be kind of cool if they do it right. if they do it similarly to how they did it in Furious 7. And I just trust them with it, with how they handled his death in Furious 7. In Furious 7, they didn't kill off the character, but you know what I'm saying? Like how they handled that end scene, the way they did that, I just thought it was really well done and respectful and lovely. So I trust them with it. It'll be kind of weird, but I don't know. It's like you can't end this franchise without Brian, you know? I don't know. Anyway, I could go on clearly, but I shan't. So I watched these movies and I watched them in chronological order. So of the timeline of the series. So that actual order is Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious, which is actually the 4th movie, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, then Tokyo Drift, then Furious 7, and then Fate of the Furious. So that's how I rewatched it, mostly because I wasn't going to rewatch Tokyo Drift, but then everybody on my Instagram was yelling at me saying it's the best one. I disagree, but I'll get into that. But when I watched them, I took some notes on different things, characters that were in each movie, and then I tallied up all of the car scenes, and this is all me personally, what I determined, right? I determined a scene where they're working on cars, obviously if they're racing cars or there's a car chase, or just where the scene is focused on cars. Then I kept track of specifically race or chase scenes, then fights, like people just beating the shit out of each other. And if there was a scene where it was kind of a larger brawl happening, but like one of our main characters is over here fighting and one of our main characters is over here fighting, I counted that as 2 separate fights. And then explosions / ridiculous action. So that could be genuinely an explosion. It could be someone jumping off of a car as it sails over a cliff, like just ridiculous action shit that is like, that wouldn't happen, but whatever. Or like I said, explosions, and then crashes. And obviously some of these overlap, like there might be a crash that is also an explosion, and I counted it for both. Now I have the data for that, so I'm gonna show you. Okay, so car scenes for each movie. We can see very clearly that the first movie and Tokyo Drift, which is technically the 3rd movie, had the most car scenes, which is not surprising. That was not surprising to me in the slightest, because, yeah, the first movie was a car movie. That first movie was a street racing movie. Tokyo Drift was a street racing movie. The rest kind of get into just being action movies, so it makes sense. Fast 5 had the least amount of car scenes, which was a little interesting to me. Like, it's quite a bit less. Oh, and I included Hobbs and Shaw as well. It's not part of the core franchise. It is a spin-off, but I just wanted to compare it to the core franchise, so that last column, H&S, is Hobbs and Shaw. Race and chase scenes. Again, unsurprisingly, the first one and Tokyo Drift have the most, and Fast 5 has the least. That one was like a heist movie. I mean, the rest of them kind of are, but that one definitely was a heist. That was when they were in Brazil trying to get the fucking vault out of the cop station, the police station. Oh God, so ridiculous. I was kind of surprised with Hobbs and Shaw having as many as it did, because I've only seen that one. I mean, I've only seen most of these 2 times now, but I had just watched that one a few months ago, and I remembered it having way less. But then I was watching, I'm like, oh, I guess they did kind of focus on cars and motorcycles too. I counted that because there was a really cool motorcycle in that movie. Fight scenes. Hobbs and Shaw was just full of fight scenes. I mean, it's Hobbs and Shaw. Like, obviously, they're just going to be whooping ass left and right. And then Fast and Furious 6 had quite a few fight scenes as well. And I think that one was when they were, where were they? I forget sometimes. They start to blend together after a while. Let me check my notes. That was when they were in Europe, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is when Letty isn't dead and she's got amnesia and whatnot. Oh, yeah, because they had fucking what's-her-face, who is now canceled. Gina Carew or Caroon, or I don't know, whatever the hell that. She was like anti-Semitic and racist. and she got cut from Star Wars. Disney said, fuck off. But yeah, they had that really huge fight with her and Letty, and Giselle was fighting the dudes. Yeah, whole thing. Oh, and then Han and Rome were fighting that guy, and they lost, and they were like, we're never talking about this, which was pretty funny. But yeah, that one had quite a few. That one was way like more action and everything than the other ones. And then Hobbs and Shaw just said, we're doing fights all the time. Ridiculous action and explosions, aside from Tokyo Drift there at number 3, just has gone exponentially up. Did go down a little bit with Hobbs and Shaw, but not a shit ton. And yeah, it's just they just up the ante with every movie. They're like, more explosions, more ridiculous shit. I mean, some of the stuff they do. The transfer when they have Ramsey, I think that's in Furious 7, right? Or is that Fate of the Furious? When they have Ramsey and she jumps between two cars as they're sliding past each other, and she like, the exchange is her like leaping through the window into the other window. Like, what? Ridiculous. I love it. Oh my God. And then Crashes. Crashes went up a lot with Fast and Furious 6. And that's the one that has the fucking whole entire ass plane crashing and like just all the shit going on in that final action scene. It's just truly ridiculous. I mean, Dom drives a car out of the burning, exploding plane, crashes the car, and then just walks out of the wreckage as these explosions are happening and everything's on fire. Oh, I love it. Oh, man, it's so good. Oh, Fast and Furious 6 also has one of my favorite fight scenes with Brian and Braga and his 2 henchmen in the jail cell. Oh, it's so good. And Paul Walker I think he was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he was posthumously given a black belt. But it shows for sure in that scene. In any fight scene with him, it shows that he had some training in that. And it was really fun. So that's all the data that I recorded for these movies. And now I'm going to tier rank them. And I think where certain ones are gonna go, but yeah, a couple of them I'm kind of like, and I want to try to do it like actually in order too. Like I'm gonna put them into the categories and then put the categories in order. So at the very top, we have just pure unabashed joy. Just, I love it so much. It just brings me joy watching this. I feel like a lot of them are gonna be in that, honestly. And then we have, I love it. Like, I thoroughly love it. It's great. It's not quite there with the just unabashed joy. Middle of the road is like, it's a good ass time. You know? Nothing wrong with it. Nothing that really I love, but it's a good ass time. It's solid, you know? Right below that, we have, it exists and it's fine. It's fine. I feel like probably only 1, maybe 2 will be on that category, but we'll see how I feel. And then at the bottom is, I could do without it. And the bottom isn't I hate, because I don't hate any of these movies, honestly. I really, truly don't. I love them all. But yeah, there's 1 or 2 where I'm kind of like, it's fine. There's 1 in particular. There might only be 1 in this. I know which one, like, yeah, I'll get into it. Going in order that they are shown here, I'm not going to go in order of the movies necessarily. So, Hobbs and Shaw. Honestly, like, it's not part of the core franchise, so technically, like, I could do without it. It's not required, really. But it's fun. This one is kind of just fully a tech spy movie. I mean, you have the character of Shaw, who's, like, an international spy, thief, whatever. And then his sister, who's in MI6. And so there's all kinds of tech spy shit happening, which was pretty cool. Hobbs, so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you know, I love that he just leans into being a cornball. Like, he's a cliche. He's filled to the brim with cliches and corny lines and whatever. But it feels like it's intentional. It feels like he's just kind of leaning into it. So I like it. But then in this movie, you get to see him with his daughter more. And I love the scenes with his daughter, with Hobbs's daughter. And also, you get to see him kind of developing a little bit of a romance. And I really like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I feel like I can't call him Dwayne Johnson. He's The Rock, you know? I feel like The Rock is the best when he's being charming. So when he's talking to his daughter and being all cute dad with his daughter, and when he's being charming to this woman, it just feels so much more natural. Like, I feel like that is really who The Rock is versus the, like, badass son bitch lines that he does all the time that are like, oh God. And there's just so many, it's silly. This movie is silly. Like, it's just silly. They're so silly together. They're constantly shitting on each other, and just their banter back and forth just cracks me up. So I feel like I can't put it in I Could Do Without It, even though it's not part of the original thing. I'm going to put it in a good ass time, honestly. It's a good ass time. I really like it. Oh, The Fate of the Furious. Okay, The Fate of the Furious has truly some of the most ridiculous action scenes. Right at the beginning, the fucking cannonball drop that like wipes out everybody. It's so funny. And then this one though has two of my favorite scenes from the entire franchise. Like, these two scenes would be in my top 5 for sure. Number 1 is the fucking prison brawl at the beginning with Hobbs and Shaw in prison, and like all the prisoners get let out and it's just a free-for-all melee. I love it. And this was one of the only times in the entire franchise when The Rock is being badass dude and it's not cringy to me, is when one of the prisoners, because he's, you know, an officer, one of the prisoners is like, oh, I've been waiting a long time for this, and is like gonna fight him. And he goes, keep waiting, bitch, and then just beats the shit out of the dude. And it's so awesome. I love it. Oh my God. I love it. And then Jason Statham is like doing fucking parkour all over the prison. It's just so much fun. Oh my God. I love it. And then at the end, another one of my favorite scenes that is just ingrained in my brain forever. On the plane, when the two Shaw brothers pop in and like start fighting everybody, but Deckard Shaw, Jason Statham's character, goes and gets the baby and has the baby in the little car seat, puts the little headphones on the baby, and it's like Alvin and the Chipmunks playing, and you see the baby like goo goo gagaing, and he's just killing everybody, just whooping ass while holding this baby carrier and like sliding it around and like pop pop shooting people and like kicking ass. And oh my God, I love it so much. It's so much fun to. Oh yeah, Roman Pierce is one of my favorite characters. Honestly, I love Roman. He's just such great comic relief. And when he's sliding on the door on the fucking ice towards the end with the fucking submarine and shit. And I mean, he just keeps getting his ass handed to him. He almost drowns and fucking Tej has to come save him. And he's like flying on this damn door. And then he falls off of it and he's like, man, fuck this. And he takes the door and smashes one of the dudes off the motorcycle or the snowmobile. And then takes the gun and just pop, 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 shoots everybody. And he's all mad this whole movie that on the most wanted list, he was number 11. So he was last out of everybody. And so he hits the dude, kills the dudes with the gun. And then he goes, number 11, my ass. It's so silly. It's so funny. I love him. Oh, and Dom just being a badass at the end when he gets the memo that his kid is safe, and he calls Cypher and he tells Cypher, you just took your foot off the tiger's neck. And I was like, oh, fuck yes. I love it. I'm here for it. Oh, man. I feel like it's pure unabashed joy. Yeah, it's gotta be. Because like I said, it has two of my favorite scenes in the entire franchise. Oh, I just love it. And I just love Dom, like, going full badass. Oh, it's so great. All right, The Fast and the Furious, the first movie. There's just so much nostalgia with this. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a car movie. It is a street racer car with some action movie. But, like, the big bad is another street racer guy. It's a very localized, it's much smaller. as far as the scope of it and everything. Later on, we get into like international spy shit, literally saving the world. This one is not them saving the world. It's just them with their street racing world, you know? But so it's not as exciting as the other ones. So all the action shit that I just love that's ridiculous isn't present necessarily. But yeah, there's just so much nostalgia with it. Like when I watch it, I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is it. So I feel like I have to put this one in pure unabashed joy. And it does have the most car scenes, chase scenes, etc. Second maybe to Tokyo Drift. I can't remember now what exactly they were. But yeah, I got to put that one in pure unabashed joy. Fast and Furious. This has to go in It Exists and It's Fine. This is number 4 as far as release date, release time frame. This is the one where we think Letty is dead, and Brian is a cop again after Too Fast, Too Furious. He's back and he's a police officer in LA. There's Braga. There's that Phoenix guy who Dom kills because he thinks that he killed Letty. We find out that Letty was working with Brian because she wanted Dom to come home. All this stuff. It's just kind of there. I don't remember it a lot. Like, I literally just watched all of these movies this past weekend, and that one is kind of out of my brain. I don't want to put it in I could do without it because it's an integral part of the storyline. So I would obviously rewatch it when I'm rewatching the movies, but it's fine. It's there. It's fine. It has one of the worst CGI scenes I think I've ever seen. The opening scene with the oil tanker crash is just, what even? Like, all right, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Listen, as a film, in and of itself, it probably is one of the better, if not the best, just actual movie out of all of these. I'll give you that. But if you just love the Fast and the Furious franchise for what it is, I'm sorry, it's the weakest one. It's the weakest one. Nobody from the OG crew is in it. Han is in it, but when this movie came out, we didn't know who the fuck Han was. They brought Han in through 4, 5, and 6 because those are like supposed to happen before Tokyo Drift, and then you get to know Han. But with this movie, like, I don't know who the hell Han is, you know, if you watch it in that order. Which I will say I didn't, because I didn't watch Tokyo Drift for the first time until last year. Because I just never cared. I was like, Dom's not in it. I mean, he's at the very end. Dom's not in it. Brian's not in it. Roman isn't in it. Tej isn't in it. No, like, you know what I mean? And having seen all of them more recently, like, yeah, I do appreciate seeing Han, but I don't know. It's so different too. Like, it's a teenager, this kid in high school. The tone of it is entirely different. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I have to put it in I could do without it, because anytime in the future when I rewatch these movies, I will probably skip Tokyo Drift. I like the franchise for that found family, and that's just not there as much in this one. Too Fast, Too Furious. Okay. This one I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings because I love Roman Pierce. He's one of my favorite characters. And obviously I love Brian. He's one of my favorite characters. This one has a lot of cringe in it. It has one of the most cringy lines in the entire series to me, in the entire franchise. When they're walking out and it was mentioned that Brian had let someone go, and Roman is like, what's that all about? And Brian's like, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, I want to know, man, blah, blah. And they zoom in on Brian, and he says, I said don't worry about it, cut. It's just the cringiest, worst shit. Oh, my God, I hate it. Also, I hate Monica as a character. Eva Mendez's character in that movie. What was the point of her? Literally 80% of the time that she's on screen, she's just standing there looking. And like looking around and delivering like one line or like nodding her head. I mean, like, follow me. Blah, blah, blah. She's so, There was no chemistry between her and Brian. I'm so glad they didn't try to like carry that romance on and they went back to the Mia thing, because Just no chemistry whatsoever. She was so pointless. Oh my good God. I cannot stand. Ugh. But it has a really iconic scene. Number one, the rat in the bucket. That is ingrained in my brain. Also, when they're being chased by the cops and they go into the huge garage and then they all come flooding out, like all the cars. Great. And then driving the fucking car off the pier onto the boat. It's when they started like, hey, let's get ridiculous with this shit. I have to put it, I think, in I love it. It can't be pure unabashed joy, but it also can't be a good ass time because it introduced Roman, like I said, and I love Roman. And it's fun. It's a fun movie. It is a fun movie. So yeah, but yeah, Monica, she made it lower. Fast 5. This is the one where it's just like straight up a heist and the fucking vault. Just the most collateral damage ever. All the collateral damage. So this one is fun though, and I liked it. And we see Vince again, who's the worst, by the way. But I mean, it was sad when he died. He was like, you know, Dom had known him forever. There were so many just truly wild moments in this though. Like I said, the jumping off of the car, when Brian jumps from the train or whatever onto the fucking car that Dom is driving, and then they both go off the cliff with the car and then like slow-mo jump off of it. So much fun. This is when Hobbs, or The Rock, his character, is introduced, and yeah, he's just a walking, talking cliche, and I kind of love it. We get the first really big fight between Dom and Hobbs, which was a lot of fun. And for the record, Dom could have killed him, but he didn't. He held back. He 100% like had the opening to kill Hobbs with the wrench, and he didn't do it. Yeah, this one I feel like I gotta put this one, is it pure unabashed joy? I think it might be. It might be I love it. I'm gonna put it in I love it. Fast and Furious 6, where we're in Europe. We learn that Letty is not dead officially, but she's got amnesia, but Dom is like obviously not gonna leave her until getting her. Oh my God, Han and Rome. Such good comic relief when they're standing there and Roman is like, oh, Han, you're in love with her. Like, are you gonna buy her a big rock? Girls like that need a big rock unless you got a big something else. And then Han just casually goes, oh, so that's why all your girlfriends wear so much jewelry. So fucking funny. Like I said, this has such a good fight scene in the jail cell with Brian and Braga and his two guys. I love that scene. Letty and Dom, when they race each other and then they pull off and they're talking, and I'm like, I just want you guys to, I ship them so hard. I love them. Mia getting captured and Brian like losing his shit for a second. Pulled up my little heartstrings. And then, yeah, the whole fucking end thing with the plane crashing. There's all these fights happening, all this ridiculous action happening. And then Giselle dies, which was sad, but she went out as a badass. I think I have to put this one in pure unabashed joy. Furious 7, I know already, is going in pure unabashed joy because, oh God, the dropping the cars out of the fucking plane with the parachutes, like what? One of my favorite scenes ever, though, in this franchise, again, in my top 4, top 5, the bus going over the cliff and Brian running along the top of it and jumping off just as Letty drifts up with the car and is like spinning out and he catches the fucking spoiler. Oh my God. And then she gets out of the car and she's like, you good? And he just goes, thank you. What? I love that scene though. Oh my God, I love that scene. We get the reference to the tuna sandwich at the store when he's talking to Mia. Oh my God. Oh yeah, Hobbs seeing all the shit going down and wanting to go join in, and he just cracks open his cast by flexing his arm. Oh my God, I love it. And then we get Shaw and Dom having this epic street fight with like fucking crowbars, just beating the hell out of each other. When Letty remembers that her and Dom, she remembers everything, and she's like, why didn't you tell me that we were married? And he says, because you can't tell someone that they love you. I love it so much. Like, that's so sweet. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. So romantic. I love it. And then the end, and Dom saying, they're like, aren't you going to say goodbye? And he says, it's never goodbye. And then that scene, I'm trying not to like get emotional, but it's a very emotional scene of him driving off, and we get the flashbacks, and he says, what does he say? I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and I think you were my brother because you did the same or something. And then we get the flashbacks to the first movie, like all the flashbacks with Brian, and it was just such a good tribute to Paul Walker in this franchise, and it was so great. This one obviously has to go in pure unabashed joy. Now, to put them in order, I feel like I'm gonna get shit if I don't put The Fast and the Furious at number 1. But I don't know if it is number 1 for me. I don't know. I feel like Furious 7 might be number 1 for me. And then it would have to be Fast and the Furious. And I mean, with Furious 7, it very well could just be the emotion of it all getting to me, right? I just think they did it really well. I do. And it's a fun one. It has a couple of my favorite scenes in the whole franchise. It's really fun. And then The Fate of the Furious, because just so much fun. Oh my God. And then, yeah, I think Fast and Furious 6 goes there. For I Love It, would I put them there? I think I would. Well, yeah, nostalgia. I have to. And then these are just one for each of these. And that works for me. Honestly, I like Hobbs and Shaw better than I like Fast and Furious. I do. I just barely remember anything from Fast and the Furious. It like all blends together. And I'm just like, they were on the border. They went under the fucking, they went in the, what am I trying to say? The tunnel. There we go. The tunnel. Remember that. So yeah, that was easy. There we go. That's my ranking. Sorry to all of you that love Tokyo Drift. I hear you. It's more of a car movie, just like the first one. It's probably a better movie than all the other ones that come after it, but it's not integral to the whole series overall to me. I'm sorry. Fight me if you want. I'm kidding. Please don't. It's just my fucking opinion. Calm down. If you disagree, it's fine. Disagree quietly to yourself. And there we go. This is the most self-indulgent video I've ever made on my channel. Not relating to books in the fucking slightest, but I don't care. I just really wanted to gush about this franchise that I thoroughly love. It's great. You know, like, sure, sometimes I like a good drama, a good highbrow movie that makes you think, that has just impeccable acting and storytelling and visuals and is just, you know, really deep and whatever, or really emotional and touching or whatever. And then sometimes I just want to watch some shit blow up and some cool car shit that is not realistic or possible in the slightest, but I just don't care. It's fun. Sorry. Thanks so much for indulging me if you watched this entire video. It's probably gonna be kind of long too because I talked for fucking ever. I'm sorry. If you're only here for this video and you're not subscribed to me, you probably don't want to subscribe to me because my channel is books most of the time. This is very unlike the rest of my content on my channel. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.